Hiya there, I'm finally getting a start on my hopefully weekly Aao no Hako chapter reviews, and I'll be starting with chapter 12, because that's the latest chapter that came out, so yeah. So let's get right into it. It's the duel between Taiki and Kishisho for Chinatsu's contacts, and, well, a spot into the next round of single qualifiers, but I think the first one's more important. So we start out with a stare down, and a rock paper scissors game between the two, and we also see that some of the other members are watching the game, including Haru and Kyo. The game starts off, and Kishisho gets off to a better start than Taiki. We also see the girls' basketball team come into the gym, including Chinatsu. We find out that Haru also finally knocks some badminton knowledge into Taiki, and he's finally playing with a strategy. In this game, he wants to get used to the tempo of his opponent and fatigue Kishisho. He was finally, in Haru's word, using his head a bit. Even we can see the progression. Back in chapter 8, probably just 2 or 3 weeks before this current match, Taiki was just hitting the birdie the way he thought was easiest for him, with no regard for how the opponent can make his shot into an opening. Later on, Kyo and Chinatsu finally have a conversation. When they talk, Taiki misses a smash, and Chinatsu gets distracted by this play. She comments that tournament games really are nail-biters, especially when every play matters. I don't know why, but when she said that, it reminded me back in chapter 1, where Taiki explained to Chinatsu that he loved badminton because it was a solo effort. Any or all responsibility will lie on him himself. Any win or loss is to his credit. Only he can be blamed or credited with winning or losing in singles. Anyways, it is here where Chinatsu finds out what's at stake from her dear friend Kyo, her contact information. And the look on her face is just priceless. It's also here where we find a different side of Kyo Kazahara. In the past 11 chapters, we didn't see or know much of Kyo. All we really knew of him was as Taiki's friend. Average badminton player, blunt, realistic, and that was really just the gist of it. I'm not even sure if Kyo even really had an opinion or an interest on Taiki and Chinatsu. So when we got to see a more expressive side of Kyo, I think that was a really big surprise. In contrast to what we've seen, Kyo seems to be a person who genuinely cares for Taiki, but then again, when has he not? So out of nowhere, Kyo literally just asked Chinatsu to take Taiki on a day out to an aquarium if Taiki wins. Of course, Chinatsu would be confused. Who would ask someone to go out with someone else? Simply put, why would person A ask person B to go out with person C? After making up some excuses so she can go with him tomorrow, Kyo says that Chinatsu's presence on Taiki has been the reason for Taiki's high work ethic ever since the start of the sports season. And looking back now, it's completely true. Look back at chapter 2. It's because of her he wants to go to nationals. In chapter 10, it's because of her he wants to win as much as he can before she graduates. In the last 2 chapters, it's because of her and what's at stake that Taiki is learning to use his brain to win games. Those who aim high need people around them that also aim high, to keep them in check, to push themselves further. For Taiki and Omada, I think those people are Chinatsu and Hina. Back in chapter 4, Taiki admitted that he admired Hina for fighting along with people at a high level, that it was also something he aspired to do. In this chapter, we see that Taiki has been unintentionally influenced as well by Chinatsu. At first, it was to impress her, and to an extent, it's still there, but there's an aspect of wanting to better himself as well. He wants to keep up with people that are aiming high. Without Chinatsu, he'd probably be very content with being in the middle of the pack. He wouldn't have even been paired up with Haru. We have to remember, having Haru around definitely helped Taiki become way better than he is right now. I do want to mention here, Kyo says that he has no influence on anybody, yet here he is. He's trying to make an influence on Taiki. These are the type of friends you want, or at least I would want. Those who butt in and help a friend out. All in all, Chinatsu actually says yes to going with Taiki to an aquarium. Of course, assuming Taiki wins. Let's not get too far ahead here. But if this does happen, this is a very big step for Taiki and Chinatsu's relationship. I do also think it depends on how this will play along. Is Chinatsu going to ask Taiki to go, or will Kyo tell Taiki after the game? I feel like this could really change the dynamic of Taiki and Chinatsu. The former would definitely help with the flow of the relationship. I feel like it would be less forced, but I don't know. I'm definitely reading too deep into this. I'm excited for chapter 13 already. The next issue of Jump, issue 32, will have Aao no Hako as the cover, I've heard, so that's already a very big plus. On the preview page of issue 31, there's a subtext that someone translated to the climax of the regional preliminaries and the heart falling in love, opens up to the future. That there really intrigues me. So first takeaway, we won't start the chapter with the end of the game like we did with Taiki v Haru. Either the game against Kishisho is still happening, or we might have another round against another opponent. But it does sound like there will be more badminton. And the second text. This is nice. Someone's heart is falling in love. I hope it's someone we all are thinking of. Chinatsu. Man, sorry, really bad cough there. What was I saying? I mean, if it is Chinatsu, then something will be happening in chapter 13, and all the more reason to be excited there. This is, of course, assuming that the translation is correct and someone's heart is actually falling in love and it's not just a different translation. Well, that's all I really have today, I guess, for this review of chapter 12. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this and found this video interesting. Like, comment, and subscribe. I think that'd be really greatly appreciated. I'm hoping that more and more people enjoy this kind of content that I'm trying to make, I guess. That maybe I could spread awareness to more mangas and maybe things that I like and maybe your suggestions, I guess. I'm rambling. But yeah, that's all I really have. Stay safe and have a good one, guys. Peace.